Hey, 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 hey. So these are the questions I did not get a chance to answer um, during today's live. So I thought I would share them here. How y'all doing? Y'all all right? Hope so. Um, cool. Let's do this. Questions from 11 to 24 live, the ones I didn't see and didn't address. Hey, Cassandra Freeman. Do you have a DAW that you recommend? And for those of you who don't know, a DAW is a digital audio workstation. It is the software essentially that will connect your microphone to your computer and allow you to do the recording and the editing and the post-production, the mastering and all of that stuff. I hate that word, mastering, finishing, and all of that stuff. Yes, I do have one that I recommend, and that is the one that works for your budget. I recommend Audacity and GarageBand to start. They're not great, but they are either free. Audacity is free, free download, or included. There is a pretty big learning curve because they're free. They're not the most user friendly, but plenty of professionals. I mean, people who do this full time use Audacity. Don't let people dissuade you. So you can always upgrade later. I upgraded to, and I use Adobe Audition, but that is not where you have to start. You can start with what works. Are you editing audiobooks in the studio or after you record? Depends on your style. I can't act and edit, but plenty of people do. I do my lines, then edit later. But lots of people use a technique called punch and roll, which is something you'll learn when you learn the software. And I get why, because it's faster. You can just do it in real time. I just can't. I mean, I think because I'm an actor first, right? I'm super concerned about my lines and how they come out and wanting them to be right. And doing both at the same time breaks my brain, and I can't. But plenty of people do. So if that works for you, do that. Should we record ourselves reading? Sure, eventually. Yeah. But I think you should build the discipline of reading aloud every day for 15 minutes first, right? And you'll condition yourself. And what you'll end up doing is conditioning yourself to make space for voiceover daily. So start with just the practice of it, right? Creating that space, that time for yourself, what you want to do, your goals, your aspirations, and you will learn and you'll see, I believe you'll see later that you will inherently make space for the other things you need to do later on, like audition or market or all of that stuff, right? Yeah. Did I do this twice? Is that why it's not advancing? What if your home base turns out to be impossible? I didn't know what you mean. But the only thing that would make it impossible is too much noise. If you're in Mexico, like I am, that's understandable. It's why I live away from downtown in the noisiest part of PV, where I think the person who asked this question lives. So that's why I live in the neighborhoods away from that, because it's relatively quiet, except for my neighbor's 7 dogs and the parrots who love to chirp above my booth. Do I absolutely need a home studio? Yes. There are people who voice act that don't have them, but most of them don't do it even close to full time, right? They do other types of acting and voice act when they're able to, or they maybe they do voice act pretty regularly, but they live in New York or Los Angeles and they have representation and an agent. But for most working actors that are, especially though those away from the coast, a home studio or Atlanta even, a home studio is a must. Most of us have a home studio. Yeah, it's pretty necessary at this point. I don't even have a closed closet. Yeah, yeah, that's a problem. It's a common problem for folks who move beyond the United States, particularly in places like Mexico. We don't have closets in Mexico. That's not what they, or the closets are in the bathroom, which is terrible for acoustics. But there are viable options that we can chat about. So it's not completely out of the question. It's just we gotta, your something called your noise floor has to be low enough for you to be able to produce broadcast quality because you do not want to compromise on the quality of your product. Yeah. I use an egg chair and cover it in blankets. And, oops, not ant. That's not right. and have a portable cardboard cutout with sound foam panels to quiet the sound. I don't know what an egg chair is, but I'm going to find out because I'm Googling now. When will the next class Will the next class be West Coast time friendly? I'm trying my best to accommodate the varying schedules. So we have folks all over the world, literally. But most of them are on Eastern time or Central time. But I am absolutely making an effort and will have either a self-paced class or will make a concerted effort to have a live class that allows for folks on the West Coast to attend without compromising their day job. What about Poofbox? I don't know what that is. Googling Poofbox. I'll withhold commentary until I have time to learn more. Because what's Poofbox? Like poof magic? Poof? When is the next class? Child. Mm, mm, mm. Well, it's coming. What is the tools page of your site? It was broken during the live. I broke it last night while I was working on it. It's fixed now. It's workwithyourvoice.com/tools. You should be able to get there, or just go to workwithyourvoice.com and then click on the tools page. It should be up and working now. I fell in love with audio description. Me too. Same, same, same. Those of you who don't know what audio description is, I talked about it during the live. It is the equivalent. It is very akin to closed captions. So it is for blind and low vision people what closed captions are for people who are deaf or hard of hearing. It describes the things that aren't said during the dialogue. It's absolutely gorgeous. I love it as an art form. I love it as a tool of accessibility. I just love the fact that I'm able to intersect my craft with doing good. It's everything. Audio description is everything. And if you have never heard about it or learned about it, Read My Mind, REID, with Thomas Reed is a brilliant podcast to listen to. Oh my gosh, he's so awesome. So, yeah, absolutely do that. I have to leave the live. Please keep me in the loop. I absolutely will. Those of you who were on the live today, those of you who took the initiative to open my email and respond and register and do all the things will absolutely stay in the loop. That's kind of how I make sure that I'm communicating with people who want to be communicated with. I'm really, really big on not hopping in folks' inbox. It's political season, right? So you get 11 billion emails from folks asking you for things 412 times a day. I don't want to be one of those people. So I only want to communicate with folks who want me to communicate with them. And since you do, I will. Will you help us define a likely niche? Yeah. But my approach is different than most coaches. As a matter of fact, I don't even consider myself a coach. I consider myself a guide. I don't tell you what you will be good at because I think about people who have the nerve to tell Oprah no, or Serena no, or Simone Biles no, or what's the problematic lady that wrote the magic book, the Harry Potter book, her. Um, Even problematic as she is, told her no, and now Harry Potter is ubiquitous, right? It's built into the fabric of the world. Because people don't know what your limitations are. I certainly don't know what your limitations are. You don't know what your limitations are until you try it. So what I tend to do is expose you to a variety of options, do my best to intersect your experience in your life up until this point with VO, because usually VO intersects at some point with something that you've already done. And because history is littered with folks who've told people who have now become legends, no, I don't want to be one of those people. So we'll review the options and then you'll choose. So that's how we'll do that. I'll be reading my CC. Girl, Cassandra, what? This is not supposed to be outlaid. This is supposed to be out loud, but I was typing fast because I got to get ready to go to this Dia de los Muertos parade. But CC is closed captioning, and that's a brilliant idea. Turn on the CC, turn on the closed captioning, and practice those commercials out loud. Hey, come on and do it. How to take care of your voice. Lots of water, hydration, throat coat tea. It's not great tasting, as somebody pointed out during the live, but it's great for its purpose. Another trick, warm pineapple juice. Another trick, Fritos. My very first audiobook director gave me that tip. Fritos. Don't ask why. I don't know why it works, but it does work for me. Gargling with apple cider vinegar and water also helps for me. And gargling with warm salt water helps for me. Again, these are all things that you are doing to yourself physically. I would caution you to consult with a doctor before you try any of these things, just in case you have any sort of allergic reaction. Lord, I ain't gonna be responsible for that, but you can absolutely try these things and see if it works for you after somebody has said, yes, it's safe for you to do that. How else to take care of your voice? Vocal rest. I avoid stress like the plague, especially since I got away from the things that were stressing me. When I don't want to deal with folks' shenanigans, I tell them I'm on vocal rest. I am doing my job. And anyone can get it that I'm on vocal rest. My children, my family, my friends. I can't talk. I'm on vocal rest. And that usually comes by text. Also, a good warm up, a good warm up and cool down before voiceover sessions is essential. You will hear a lot of people in voiceover tell you that they don't warm up. Don't you listen to them? You ain't never seen and never went to a professional anything where people just hop on stage and just start, right? Or hop on the court and start. We talked about, Serena. You think she's not hitting balls between tournaments? You think, Simone Biles is not practicing? You think that, or warming up before the game. When you go to a basketball game, there's a shoot around. When you go to a football, actually, I don't know what they do in football. They do the football. But you see my point. When is the next class? Okay, now, for real, I'm working on it. It has to be right, and it has to be wonderful, because that's all Black women deserve. And it shouldn't be much longer. I am working on it every day. The folks who attended this live will be the first to know and will have their spots held, because space is limited. And I thank you for your patience. And that is the way I'm going to thank you for your patience. But, I don't know. It's going to be soon, though. Thank you so much. Any other questions? I'm on Instagram at Hey Casaundra. That's at HeyCasaundra. And then here on the YouTubes, subscribe, like, share, do all the things. I should have had a slide for that, but I don't. Bye. Thank you. Chat soon.